So in the last lecture, we have discussed about production procedure and line balancing. Hope you have cleared that 2 points, production procedure and line balancing. So from in this particular lecture, we are more focusing on production control. Okay, so we know that the production control will or production control comes into the picture once the production will start. Okay, now here in this slide, the outline of a production control is provided. Okay, and it will starts with the sales programming, and the sales programming will provide it to the master schedule, then the material control, then the labor control, and you will get the dispatch. Then manufacturing will start, the material will be provided to the customer, and here the progress will be recorded. Now these stages, okay, whatever the procedure or the production control stages are provided, that stages are divided into three categories. The first one is nothing but loading and scheduling, then second one is material control, and third one is the dispatch and progress. Okay, dispatch and progress. So in a sales programming, actually we know that where we get the order from the customer. Okay, that is nothing but the sales people get the order from customer, because the sales people are in uh, connect with the customer, so that the orders will be received to the sales department, and this sales order or the order from the customer will be transformed to the production. Okay, will be transformed to the production department. Okay, now to now these orders, when these orders are transferred to the production department, at that point only the functions of a production control will start. Okay, functions of a production control will start. Now main function of a production control is nothing but to have a control over the material, that is nothing but quality, quantity, then to have a control over the processes, okay, or the operation, because every product having, or every variety of product having their some specific operations. So according to that, to have a control on that, we should go for the production control. Okay, and once here we are dealing with the sales programming will receive the order from the customer, and that orders will be transformed to the production department. Okay, now the orders, once the orders will receive, at that point the production control phase will start. Okay, and from that order the master schedule is prepared. Okay, so master schedule means what? Here the requirement of a customer will be segregated as per the time function, means at what date the customer want how much number of a quantity. Okay, and according to that how much material requirement is there, how much labor requirement is there, and what processes need to carry out on that materials. So all these things are included in a master scheduling. Okay, so we can say that assessing the labor, okay, assessing the material requirement, so these are assessing the operation requirement need to carry out on the materials to complete or to produce the finished good. So all these things are included in the master scheduling. So after getting the sales programming from the sales department, or by getting the orders from the sales department, the master schedule will be prepared. Okay, now according to this master schedule, the material control will comes in the picture. So what is the function of a material control? Here material control deals with the quantity of a material. First thing is nothing but whether whatever the quantity is required to to fulfill the order, whether that quantity of a material is available or not. And second thing is nothing but the quality of a material. Okay, which quality of a material is required to produce the goods. Okay, so let us consider that steel. So there are different grades of steels available in the market. So which grade you want? Then aluminum, which grade aluminum you that particular customer product want. So all these things comes under the material control. Okay, first thing is nothing but the quantity of a material is available in the industry or not. Second thing is nothing but the quality of a material, whatever the quality is having or not. And if not, okay, if not, then the controlled action taken against that particular deficiency. Okay, controlled action will be taken against that deficiency. And this labor control is also function of a master scheduling only. Here, the labor control is nothing but the working hours, the skill set of a workers. So that should be controlled. Okay. Now this comes under everything. This things comes under the loading and scheduling phase. Now the second phase is or self program and master scheduling comes under the loading and scheduling phase, whereas material control is the another phase. Now the dispatching, now here you can see the dispatching phase is there. So third phase is nothing but dispatching and progressing. So dispatching means what? We have discussed that. Here the dispatching meaning is nothing but sending the work orders to the workers or the machines, and once the work order will be provided to the machines and workers or the departments, then and then only the production will start. Okay, or the manufacturing will start. Okay, so dispatching function is related to dispatching the work orders to the to the department, to the workers, to the machines. Okay, and once this dispatching function will over, then and then only the manufacturing or the production processes will start. Okay, and the products are produced and transferred to the customer. Now in a dispatching and progressing, so this is the part of a dispatching. So progressing is nothing but recording the data and analyzing that data as per the requirement. So whatever the master scheduling is prepared, whether the output is getting as per the master schedule or not. So to compare that, we require to generate the data, or we require to maintain the record. Okay, and this phase or this stage will be considered as a progressing. Okay, or this function will be considered as a progressing. Okay, and this will be compared and feedback is provided to the master schedules, and accordingly that according to the deficiency, according to the deviation, the corrective actions are taken. Okay, the corrective actions are taken. So this is nothing but the outline of a production control. Okay, outline of a production control. Is there any question, any doubt in that? So I will provide you 2 minute time. You can draw this diagram. Give the heading as outline of production control. Outline of production control. Sales programming first, then master scheduling second, then master scheduling is provided to the dispatching to prepare the order, and the inputs are also provided from the material control and labor control. Then the dispatching will provide the orders to the production department or the machines or the workers according to the job, and the manufacturing phase will start. After producing the product will be transferred to the customer or dispatched to the customer. Now here the progressing will connect the output of manufacturing to the output of material schedule. Okay, over I have drawn the diagram. Okay, now the next thing is nothing but loading, scheduling, and sequencing. Okay, so these terms we have discussed in case of a production planning and controlling functions. Okay, so when we prepare the master schedule or the material requirement plan, okay, in that case we required some operations on a shop floor, okay, or we need to convert that plan into we can consider as operations on a shop floor, okay, into operations on a shop floor. So for that purpose you should know the output plan, okay, output plan. So in output plan the terminologies are nothing but the loading, sequencing, scheduling, and expediting. So we know that the loading is nothing but the load is assigned to specific workstation, to specific machine, or to specific worker. Okay, so loading phase or loading stage of our output plan will be considered as assigning a specific job to each work center for the planning period. Okay, then next thing is nothing but sequencing. Okay, so the sequencing is nothing but after which operation we want to transfer. Let us consider that one operation will be carried out on one machine, then the second operation should be carried out on another machine. So which is that second operation and which machine we are going to consider for that second operation. So sequential operations need to carried out. So accordingly the operations sequence will be generated. Okay, and the best way to carry out or best method to perform the task will be determined. Okay, so here in a sequencing stage the determining the order of a processing of all job at each work center. Okay, important phase is there. Okay, there are, if you consider that there are 10 machines and one job need to travel to all 10 machines, let us consider there are 10 varieties. Okay, then which job should be performed, or on which job that work in charge or the labor need to perform first, then second on which job that task should be performed that particular worker, then the third job. So that is nothing but here you need to provide the sequence, or here you not need to give the priority of work performance. Okay, here you need to give the priority to the work performance. So for that purpose some rules are used in production operation management to give the sequencing or to give the priority to the job. Okay, to the job. If at workstation there are 10 number of jobs are there, variety, we can say that the 10 variety of jobs are there. So which job first should be on which job the first priority should be given, so that determination will be nothing but the sequencing. And the another meaning of a sequencing is also there, that is nothing but after if you consider the job location, at that case there are, if you consider, yes, double if you consider one job, okay, and you need to perform the 10 tasks on that one job. So which task should be given a first priority, which task you should give the second priority. So let us consider that you are doing uh, uh, machining on a particular job on a lathe machine, okay, and the bar is provided to you or the raw material is provided to you. So you have to produce one product, or you can say that whatever your job is there, so that you have to perform. So initially you perform the drilling, you perform the facing operation, then you perform the uh, material removal operation from the surface, okay, that is turning operation. Then you will go for the drilling operation, then you go for the taper turning operation, okay, then you go for the knurling operation. So that is nothing but you are doing the sequencing while performing the operation on a particular job, okay. And also this is also called as a sequencing of a operation. And in a product output plan, if there are variety of jobs are there, so in that case you have to perform the sequencing for the particular machine related to the priority, okay, related to the priority. So which job having the highest priority, that should be performed, or task on that job should be performed as early as possible. So this is nothing but a priority sequencing, okay. Then what is meant by scheduling? The next stage is nothing but a scheduling. In this stage, the start and finish time for all the jobs at each workstation will be established, okay, will be established. So in a scheduling case, we try to determine the or in scheduling we are providing the loads to the machines, and we are providing the orders to the machines that in this much time period you have to perform this task, okay. And from which things we get this idea? From work measurement, from time study, we'll get the idea about the how much time required to complete this task on a particular machine, okay. And this is about the expediting. So in expediting, we are creating or we are generating the reports, and we are comparing that reports with the planned things. And if there is any deviation, then we need to take the corrective action, so as to minimize the deviation, okay. So this is nothing but expediting. So these four stages are called as the stages of output plan, okay, stages of a output, okay. So write down loading, scheduling, and sequencing. Give the heading as loading, scheduling, and sequencing. Loading, scheduling, and sequencing. Loading, scheduling, and sequencing. Prepare one first box as output plan. Output plan. Output plan. Below that you can write master schedule and material requirement plan. 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 First stage is loading. First stage is loading. So loading, in front of loading you can write assigning specific jobs to each work center. Assigning specific jobs to each work center for the planning period. For the planning period. assigning specific jobs to each work center for the planning period. Then second stage is sequencing. Second stage is sequencing. Sequencing is nothing but determining the order of a processing. Sequencing is nothing but determining the order of processing of all jobs for all jobs or of all jobs at each work center. At each work center. Then next is scheduling. Next is scheduling. Scheduling is related to establishing start and finish times, establishing start and finish times of all jobs at each work center, at each work center. The last stage is expediting. Expediting in that you can write monitoring progress. Expediting in that monitoring progress, comma, taking corrective actions to minimize deviation, or is there any doubt, any question? Okay, now next heading is give heading as a loading. Okay, loading means assigning the jobs to the machines. That is nothing but a loading. Okay, now if you assign, let us consider that one machine is there. Okay, one machine is there, and on that machine, okay, on that machine, one work is in progress. Okay, let us consider that one job is in progress. Okay, and during that progressing of first job, the next 3 jobs come to that particular machine. Next 3 jobs come to that particular machine. Okay, one machine is there and one job is in progress. Okay, variety of jobs, consider variety of job. One variety of a job is in progress. Then during that work in progress, 3 jobs come to that machine, and 3 variety of jobs are in a idle condition and waiting for the loading on that machine. Okay, waiting for the loading on that machine. Okay, so this is the situation. And once the first variety of job, work on a first variety of job is completed, now here the question in the mind of a worker, that for which job I should give a priority, or which job I should load on the machine. Okay, so this is the question in the mind of that particular worker or the production planner. Okay, now this question will be answered by using the priority sequencing, or we can say that the loading technologies. Okay, so now here each job may have a unique product specification and has a unique routing. So through various work center, when the job orders are released, they are located to the work center, thus establishing the quantity of a load each work center should be carried during the specific planned period. This assignment is called loading. Okay, so load is the work assigned to a machine or an operator, and capacity as the volume of output capable of being produced in any convenience period of a time. Loading is the study of a relationship between the load and capacity at work center. And to do that study, the two different techniques are used. The first one is nothing but Gantt load chart, and the second one is nothing but visual load profile, which will be useful to determine the relationship between the capacity and the volume, capacity and the load. Okay, load here, what you understood, the first point you remember that the loading is nothing but what? Assigning the job to the workstation. Okay, work center. Now let us consider that one workstation can produce the 100 component in a day, and if you assign the workload of 120 components, whether it is possible to generate that much production? No, it will not possible. Okay, now here the question is that you should know the capacity of a machine. Okay, and according to that capacity you have to assign the job to the workstation. Okay, you have to assign the job to the workstation. Now the loading, so here the load should be related to the capacity. Okay, here the load should be related to the capacity. So that first of all you have to determine the capacity, and then you should assign the load to the worker or the workstations. You have to assign the load to the worker or a workstation. Now this can be carried out by using the Gantt chart or the visual load profile. Okay, so let us talk about the Gantt chart. So this, let us consider there are three workstations. Okay, first one is a sheet metal workstation, second one is a electrical workstation, and third one is a paint workstation. These three workstations are there. So the vertical lines, now if you consider this as a graph, then the vertical lines on this particular graph will represent the time or days. Okay, will represent the time or days, and these horizontal lines will represent the workstation. Okay, will represent the workstation, and this ABCD will represent the variety of a jobs or a number of operation, anything. Okay, ABCD will represent the variety of a job or number of operation. Now this perpendicular lines, you can see that this perpendicular line represent the capacity. Okay, or the operation type, capacity or the operation type. Now sheet metal, for A type of a job this much capacity required, for B type of a job this much capacity required, for C type of a job this much capacity required, and for D type of a job this much capacity is required. Similarly, for B type of a job, electrical workstation does not require. So only A, C, D will be go to the electrical workstation, and the paint workstation required all the four varieties. Okay, so it will be performed on all four jobs, or all four varieties will be sent to the paint workstation. Okay, will be sent to the paint workstation. So here what you understood? First of all, you understood number of workstation and their capacities. Okay, and the second thing is nothing but you understood that which job should be transferred to which workstation. Okay, which job should be transferred to which workstation, and from that visualization anyone from the shop floor can understand the capacity and the load assigned to the particular workstation. Okay, load assigned to the particular workstation. So there are four jobs which are to be processed on three workstations. Okay, and for that this example is implemented to determine or to form the Gantt chart. Okay, so Gantt chart used for both loading and scheduling. This chart is invented by Henry L. Gantt, and it consists of a simple rectangular grids divided by parallel and horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, so vertical lines divide the chart into unit of a time. Okay, let us say day, let us say hours. So vertical lines divide the chart into unit of a time, and parallel lines divide the chart into sections. Okay, which can be used to represent either a work task or a work center. Easy and clarity is communicating important shop information. So what you understood? You understood the loading and scheduling things, the capacity and the load to each workstation from this particular Gantt chart. Okay, load to each workstation from this particular Gantt chart. Okay, is there any question, any doubt in a Gantt chart? Okay, so write down loading. 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 Each job may have a unique product. Each job may have a unique product specifications. Each job may have a unique product specification and has a unique routine and has a unique routine through various work centers and has a unique routing through various work centers. When the job orders are released, when the job orders are released, they are allocated to the work centers. They are allocated to the work centers, thus establishing the quantity of load, thus establishing the quantity of load to each work center, should carry during the specific plant period, full stop. This assignment is called loading. Next point. Load is the work assigned. Load is the work assigned to a machine or an operator, and capacity is the volume of output, capable of being produced in any convenient period of a time. The next, loading is the study of relationship. Loading is the study of relationship between load and capacity. Loading is the study of relationship between load and capacity at work centers. Next point. The Gantt load chart, visual load profiles are helpful for evaluation of the current loading. Then give next heading as Gantt chart. As Gantt chart. Give the heading as Gantt chart. In that first point, write down Gantt chart used for both loading and scheduling. Gantt chart used for both loading and scheduling. Next point, originated by the American engineer Henry L. Gantt. Next point, it consists of simple rectangular grid. It consists of simple rectangular grid divided by parallel, horizontal and vertical line. Divided by parallel, horizontal and vertical lines. Next point, vertical lines divide the charts. Vertical line divide the chart. Vertical lines divide the chart into unit of times. Into unit of time. Into unit of time. Then next, the parallel lines divide the chart into sections. Parallel lines divide the chart into sections. Divide the chart into sections, comma, which can be used to represent which can be used to represent either work tasks, which can be used to represent either work tasks or work centers, either work tasks or work centers. Then next, easy or ease and clarity in communicating important shop information. Easy to understand and clarity will be communicated related to the shop floor information. That is nothing but which job having how much load on particular work center. So that will be clearly communicated through this particular diagram. Okay, ease and clarity in communicating important shop information. Important shop information. Getting everyone? Okay, so write down example. Example. There are four jobs. There are four jobs which are to be processed. There are four jobs which are to be processed on 3 work centers. There are 4 jobs which are to be processed on 3 work centers. So here, draw this diagram, everyone. On vertical lines, you can give the work center, and on horizontal line, you can give the days or time. Okay. So the vertical lines will represent or it will segregate the time. Okay, and this two horizontal line or this two horizontal line or this particular block will segregate. Okay, three blocks are there. If you consider that three blocks are there or three rows are there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 rows are there. So these rows represent the work centers. Okay, so sheet metal, electrical, paint, and this perpendicular line represent the load on that particular machine for the particular job. Okay, for the particular job. So A, B, C, D jobs having the load on a sheet metal. Okay, and when we stretch this line on the horizontal line, so we will get the time hours required to complete the task for a job on a sheet metal workstation. Okay, and if you can stretch this line towards the horizontal line, then in a similar fashion we will get how much time required for B job on a sheet metal workstation. Similarly for the electrical workstation and similarly for the paint workstation. Okay. Is there any question, any doubt? Okay, so next method for loading is nothing but visual load profile. Okay, so in this method we are having the graphs. Okay, or the graphs are plotted related to the capacity and load. Okay, on a time scale. Okay, and in a manual scheduling system the load consists of a open orders. Okay, what is meant by open orders? Open orders are nothing but which are already existed in the industry, and that the work is carried out on a continuous basis for that particular order, and assigning such a jobs to the workstation, that will be nothing but a open order. Now in a manual loading we can plot these graphs. Okay, in a manual loading we can plot these graphs, but if the computer systems are used for the loading purpose, okay, so computer loading is also possible. How the computer, so SAP ERP systems are there, so which will be used for the computer loading. So computer will assign, or the system will assign the load to the specific machine only. Okay, to the specific machine only. Okay, so visual load profile is or visual load profile system is nothing but plotting the graphs and determining the load and the capacities by using that graphical representation. Okay, now this manual loading, the second point is related to the manual loading. Now manual loading means what? There is no computer based loading system available, or there is no computer based ERP or the SAP system is not available in the industry. In that case, the manual scheduling or manual loading system is used, and it will be assigned the job manually to the work center. Whereas the computer based loading systems are also there, or scheduling systems are also there, which provide the open orders or planned orders profile or upcoming jobs to the workstation. So in case of a manual loading, you don't know which is the next job, but in a computer system or computer based scheduling system, in that you come to know that what job will be assigned to you in upcoming days or for next working days. Okay, so that will be the we can say that the advantages of computer based scheduling systems. Okay, so when there are overload, some of the load will be shifted to alternative work center. There are two ways in this can be done. Okay, एक कौन सी तो मशीन पर ज्यादा लोड हो गया तो वो कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाए. Okay, so only one machine will get overloaded. So at that time, what options are with you? So one option is nothing but lot splitting. Okay, जिसमें आप क्या कर सकते हैं, in which a job order is split and only part of it is processed now and other are processed later. So in that case, the job order will be split and the required quantity will be processed now only, and the remaining will be processed when the load is negligible on that particular machines. And the second way to do the splitting, that is nothing but operation splitting. In that case, the processing parts of the job in work centers and the rest at the another center. Okay, so let us say 10 operations are there. So 5 operations are performed on one workstations and 5 operations are performed on the another workstation. So that option with you, that is nothing but operations splitting. Okay, operation splitting. And the next point is related to the priority sequencing, and we are having the problems on that. So if you have any doubt, any question, you can ask, or else you can write the visual load profiles. Write on the heading visual load profiles. Visual load profiles. In that first point, it is graph comparing. It is graph comparing. It is graph comparing workloads and capacities. It is graph comparing workloads and capacities on time scale, on time scale, on time scale. Second point, in manual scheduling system, in manual scheduling system, the load consists of open orders. The load consists of open orders. In bracket, open orders means in bracket existing orders from the customer. Customer ने आपको order दिए, वही order आपको manual scheduling system में मिल जाएगी. Okay, you will not get the upcoming orders. Okay, so in manual scheduling system, the load consists of open orders. In bracket, existing orders from the customer. Bracket complete. Assigned to work center. Assigned to work center. Next point, in computer-based scheduling system, the load consists of open orders as well as planned order. The load consists of open orders and planned orders. So planned orders are nothing but inside bracket prospective orders from the customers means future में कौन सी order आने वाली है वो भी आपको मिल जाएगी. So prospective orders from customer. Getting? Is there any doubt, any question? Now next point is when there are overloads. When there are overloads. When there are overloads. Comma. In that case, some of the load will be shifted to alternative work centers. Some of the load will be shifted to alternative work centers. Okay? ज्यादा लोड हो गया एक वर्क सेंटर पर दूसरे वर्क सेंटर पर आप उसको शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं. तो उसके लिए आपके पास two ways है. There are two ways this can be done. There are two ways this can be done. First one is lot splitting. Lot splitting. So what is meant by lot splitting? In which a job order is split. In which a job order is split. In which a job order is split and only part of it. In which job order is split and only part of it is processed. Now. It's processed now. And others are processed later. And others are processed later. Then second option with you as operations splitting. Operations splitting. So in operation splitting, what you can get? Processing part of the job in work center. In work center and the rest at other. And the rest at other. Okay, so we have discussed today about the outline of a production control. Then we have discussed about output plan. Then we have discussed about the loading, and then in that loading only we have discussed about the Gantt chart and visual load profile. Okay, so these points we have covered today. Is there any doubt, any question? Is there any doubt, any question? Now in the next lecture we will go for the priority sequencing. Okay, very nice point, priority sequencing. So we have discussed what is meant by priority sequencing. So once again we will discuss tomorrow, and there are some rules and the problems on this particular point. So don't miss this point. We will conduct one lecture tomorrow or one or two lectures tomorrow and try to finish this particular priority sequencing point and the problems on that particular point also. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. You can put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave.